record things and start recording theoretically and saying, "Hey, Anime Hero, how's it going on, man?"
Oh, it's been, when you said hey, I thought you were going for a hey authors kind of thing.
Well, whatever. Hey, it's just I like to throw people off at the beginning. It messes up the professionalism right away. Like, yeah, we know what we're doing. No, not really. This was semi-planned though. We talked last night. We had like some questions. I thought about talk. It was the conversation we had because I was glad you made me feel better about it. Like the whole idea that color manga, I guess, was not a waste of time, basically. Like it was invaluable because I remember I had I got like one of those booklets from the Namek saga, and I just
Uh-huh.
I think the color was, if I remember correctly, I'll have to look at it sometime again. I thought it was close to the anime, but I remember the question I asked you was basically, okay, well, the manga obviously is there, and if I wanted to actually see it in color with all the movement and everything, the full production, just watch the anime. So I felt like, is this a little redundant? But then when I got it from the store, I'm like, no, this feels good. Like I like looking at the image and taking in the color as well. So, and your analogy was really good about what was it? A transformer that doesn't transform? Is that
Yeah.
inviolable? That was good. That was good, man. So that I thought that kind of got the juices flowing, so to speak, about conversation heroes. So if I can remember, I mean, I have it in front of here, but I gotta just like find out where it is. Oh yeah, yes, okay. You had some news. You posted on your channel recently about NorthStar. This is NorthStar, wasn't it?
Oh yes, that the manga finally got licensed by Viz Media.
Why did that take so damn long?
I don't know.
Because man, all right. Here I'm going to ask a theory for you, and I don't know if you have an answer, but you're like obviously the biggest North Star fan that I know for Hokuto no Ken, and we have talked a lot about how with the manly anime and how many have been influenced by Hokuto no Ken, and they've been coming out more popular now. And JoJo got that reboot, and everything else gets a reboot these days. Why do you think North Star hasn't gotten one yet? Like, do you? I know you've talked about it before. Do you think there is a reason, maybe behind the scenes? Because it doesn't make sense. It's a very popular show.
My theories go to the previous decade when they were working on those big budget films and OVAs.
Mm-hmm.
It was from 2006 to 2009. I'm guessing maybe because of that. Maybe they don't want to devalue those things, or maybe they think there's no market for it. Because lately, Fist of North Star has been more towards gaming than anything else.
Mm-hmm. How was that game you played, by the way? Seemed like you enjoyed it.
Well, it was fun, yeah, but even after that, they made another North Star game for mobile. It was a Legends Revive.
Are those games like well reviewed? Are they doing well? Like,
Well, the thing is, they're in Japan. They're doing very well. It's more of a question how they're doing outside of it. And what surprises me more than anything is that they are attempting to localize it. Because the mobile game that I've just mentioned, it's you could download it over here, and it's
okay,
translated to English.
okay, all right, okay. So North, all right, so all right, okay. Then you, all right. You've obviously studied it quite a bit. You've watched a lot of it. You've read a lot of the content. It's obviously an influential series. It's very good. Uh, is it not really that popular over here? Because it seems like it's iconic, but it's one of those shows that people know about it, but have they actually seen it? And does it matter if they see it?
I think it matters that they see it because most of Mr. Northstar's reputation is through, oh, partly because of memes.
Yeah, you could say the same thing about Star Trek, though, like the Picard memes and stuff. But I
Yeah,
still
but
think
people over here watch Star Trek.
a lot of people don't, though. A lot of people that might know the memes and that they feel like something is so iconic that it's like embedded in pop culture, they might feel they don't have to watch. I know some people kind of use that example with movies, like things that are really overquoted, like Princess Bride or Monty Python or something. Some people I know are like, oh, I know the movie practically, even though I've never seen it, and I've heard that excuse. So maybe
Mm.
people feel they get the sense of it with a couple, destruction, gore, gifts, and that's enough. You think that's just like that, is that it for people?
Possibly, I think one of the reasons people don't look at it or give it a try is because of its age and the fact that there is no modern representation.
Hero, all right, well, you're going to turn this into a damn rant because I think you'll agree with me on this. But all right, I mean, you're an artist, obviously, and I appreciate good animation, obviously, but are people just too spoiled? Because I don't want to say it's spoiled because, like, we've talked a lot about how, for instance, in anime, a lot of the styles basically the same. There's actually less detail, less risk taking with designs. I think back in the 80s and 90s, the style was just a little more varied and interesting and detailed. I mean, maybe it's a little bit, I guess, rough around the edges, but I don't know. Are people just automatically like it's old, so therefore it's not good? Is that still the argument, like with something like that?
I believe so because the way people have been, they sort of been catering more into superficial reasons.
Okay.
Take One Punch Man for example.
Hmm.
I mean, I think most people have forgotten that it's supposed to be a joke, but it's not.
Well, that's a fandom issue. Okay, and just to clarify, you do like One Punch Man, right?
I did to a certain extent. It's just that I feel it overstayed its welcome, despite being so. Even though it only has 2 seasons of an anime, I feel the fandom exposure is getting like a little. To put it on a higher pedestal than it really shouldn't be. And I
Okay.
think the biggest reason is because of, once again, it started as a meme and people started taking it seriously. Was the whole like 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups thing? Because if you look on YouTube, there are actual videos of people doing it,
Oh
people
yeah.
doing the exercise routine, and see like does it really work or not.
All
And
right. All right. Here. Well, okay. This might get into an interesting conversation, and I know based on some of your recent videos. Okay, is that just kind of like sort of the negative side of a fandom? Like, because all right, because for instance, like when I see people, I know people in person that like, especially when it first came out. One Punch Man, for instance, was really big, really hyped, and people liked it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. So, at what point do you think it starts to like be too much?
let's see. Besides the videos I brought up, I mean, those exercise routine, is that there was something else. There was something so simplistic that I might am overlooking.
Is it like the like that Saitama can beat Goku and one like no like the power level comparison thing, that thing?
That's part of it because okay, I recall now. The problem is that a lot of the One Punch Man stuff, there most people are sort of like cash grabbing it,
Hmm.
so they try to exploit it with the power level videos, like you mentioned, along with a bunch of other things. Because, for example, the current arc or the last arc that I recall was the whole thing when they're hunting for Gato, and right off the bat, there's a scene where Saitama like hilariously defeats the main objective of the story without him even knowing it.
Hmm.
And then afterwards, we're just sort of get stuck into this tournament arc formula, which has obvious results.
Well, okay, the weird thing about One Punch Man for me, and I actually didn't finish the second season, so that tells you how much I care. Like, I'll probably watch it at some point. I like it. I love, but I thought one season of One Punch Man, from a comedy perspective, like the theme, like I get it. I think it was clever, but I thought it was enough. Where the thing that interests me about One Punch Man, which I guess maybe I took kind of seriously, is obviously I like the superhero stuff and kind of like My Hero Academia, I liked a lot of the side characters. So for me, I kind of know Saitama's a joke and he's kind of there just to obviously save the day, but I liked a lot of the side characters and I liked some of the plot stuff going on. So that's how I kind of dealt with it. And maybe a lot of people do take that seriously, but I don't know. At what point do you take it too seriously? I guess. I mean, I don't know. With the power level stuff, I know that especially like Dragon Ball. Oh man, what power levels? Like we know the power levels stupid anyway, but like I know that I would have enjoyed that a lot when I was a kid. Like I remember as a kid, like being obsessive about power levels. I did it because I didn't get that it was nonsense anyway. So like I'd love that, but I find those to be, as you know, not exactly the most interesting content. So I don't know. I feel like, you know, Hero, I feel like I know you're my guest, but I'm just using you as an excuse to rant about a lot of shit. It feels like right now. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've always been kind of mad about, and all right, and you, all right. I'm gonna build up to the final topic eventually. We're gonna talk about the fun stuff, but I'm gonna really rant at the end. Okay, I think you're gonna be with me on this. But as a hint on that, I think one of the hard things about any like creativity, especially, on YouTube or some platform, as you know, is probably like trying to balance like your kind of trying to be genuine with what's going to get you exposure, get you views. And I could easily do those damn versus power level things,
Yeah.
but I don't think I ever will. I think it would just, I would, I don't know. I couldn't get through it. I would be, I mean, it might be interesting to look at like a comparison of all the power levels recorded, but I do one video and that's it. I do one video, and I know that it would make more sense to compare all the, and I mean, I guess that means I'm the dumb one for not just giving people what they want to get views. I don't know. I'm sure you've had
Mhm.
these thoughts, Hero. What do you think? What do you think
Oh,
about
I have because I noticed another video recently that I bumped across that had I think it was Devilman power levels, which I thought it was just that's just too much.
Devilman? How do they rate power levels? Do they just compare different
Well,
characters and
that's the
that's it?
thing. That's what I mean. That it's too much because it's not exactly plausible.
I mean, they're on such a scale, like, and
I don't
there's
know.
no like,
I'm just typing in power levels right now and see what I find.
okay, because I mean, like, you know more about the Devilman stuff than I do, but is there like an internal rating to like rate the demonic powers or whatever? I didn't think there was.
No, there really is. Well, there is a hierarchy in their tribe, but they
Okay,
don't really.
S-class demons and whatnot.
Yeah, it's not like that. You have to show.
He's worth 5 Devilman. He's worth 10 Devilman.
Oh, well, there is something like that in Otokujuku, but it's a joke. Because they
uh,
said that if we had 10 Demas, we would have won World War II.
oh shoot! Well, then we know how powerful he is. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah. Okay. Okay. Brief rant over. Moving on to the next topic. Okay. In your most recent video, you actually made a little reference, which I didn't quite. I want you to elaborate because I didn't get the joke. Actually, I was confused.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
you were talking about like the various videos you were doing and kind of expanding in different things, and you briefly mentioned how you did that video on the Sonic movie, but you thought nobody wanted to see that. I checked the views on it; it's got over 1,000 views and pretty positive reception. So I thought it was pretty good, all things considered. So I was confused about that.
It's because after I do that video, when I start making other uploads, this everyone starts asking like, "Oh, hey, where you been? Like, what's gonna be your next review?" And I'm thinking, well, I just did one, so
What
that's
is,
why I assume maybe people didn't think I would talk about Sonic, and that's why they overlooked me, or they
uh,
just didn't happen to see me. I don't know.
yeah, that's the weirdest thing with the subscription bell. Like, did they even see that video?
I don't know.
Like, people are like, "Oh man, where you been? I just did a video like yesterday." But hey, no, that was my next topic. I actually kind of want to talk to you a bit more about the Sonic movie and your thoughts on it and
Um,
future movies because I don't, I think I told you, but I really liked it, man. I really did. I know you didn't like it like maybe as much as I did. You had mixed feelings, but I still thought it was pretty awesome that we got it.
uh-huh.
Uh huh.
No, I thought you were gonna say more.
No, no, I want, okay, all right. Well, I remember, I guess, okay, it has been said now by a couple people that I know, and I think I agree that the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is basically pretty much the best video game film we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this nostalgic part of me that still wants to say Mortal Kombat, but I know that's probably, yeah, that's a cheat. Is it a great movie? Maybe no, but
Well, the thing is, the Mortal Kombat movie, I'd say that's more accurate than the Sonic movie.
it is. I mean, it's not as bloody, but it follows the story of the first game pretty closely, from what
Yeah,
I
I mean, everyone does their signature things. I mean, we see the bicycle kick from Liu Kang, the nut punch from Johnny Cage.
understand.
Goro's in there.
Well, all right. Yeah, okay, so you can make the argument that is actually a closer adaptation. And the Sonic movie, once again, we've got Sonic kind of in the, it's they're doing the He-Man thing where he's on Earth
Hmm.
again, and it's like he's okay. The biggest question I had for you, because this is I did like Sonic in the movie a lot. I really did.
Hmm.
But he seems a little out of character to me.
Oh, well, one of the reasons with Sonic is that usually they don't want to portray him as vulnerable.
Hmm.
And in here, you can tell that it's like extremely lonely
Yeah,
to the point of stalker syndrome.
he was very vulnerable. He was kind of a loner. He was sad. He was very childlike, and what I grew up like, I just remember Sonic being very cocky, very confident, very I got a juice, like
Yeah, yeah. The
yeah. I just that's what I think
Jaleel
of
White
Sonic.
Sonic.
So I guess if
The problem with Sonic is that there's it's a little difficult to find consistency because all the different writers and demographics that try to throw Sonic in.
mhm.
Because with the Jaleel White version from the '90s, that's like Americanized Sonic. And if you look at the game version, they started to give him like more attitude
Well, he's
and
got
raise
an
it up a
attitude.
bit more. Yeah, yeah. But if you look at Sonic, let's say in the what's one ever? If you look at him in Sonic Boom,
Okay,
that version of Sonic, he's like very laid back.
really.
Yeah, he seems almost like annoyed that he has to deal with stuff.
Even though he's like super, he's usually super energetic. That's his whole
He's
thing
not
usually.
that energetic in that show.
Huh. Well, that's
Sonic
different.
Boom as a whole, everyone's like, it's more like if he's frenemies with Eggman, it's sort of like, oh, it's that annoying neighbor that I gotta fight every week
Oh, okay,
type of
gotcha,
thing. So
gotcha. All right, Hero.
the
Let me
version
ask
of
you this.
Sonic is just like, no.
All right. Well, in your opinion, what is the best and worst representation of Sonic then that you've seen?
Uh, well, I could think of an area that's the worst,
Okay,
and
that's
it's
fine.
all very recent.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, because for the last I guess decade, honestly, um, at some point, every now and then with Sonic, they tend to get new blood, so they'll change the voice cast and the writing staff. And for the last couple of years, ever since they did the shift from 4 Kids to the other group, I forgot the writers, but one of them's called Pontaf. Pontaf something. The point is, he and his friend, when they were writing Sonic, they started making him less serious.
Okay.
So most of the time, he's sort of like they raised his cockiness like too high, and
Hmm.
his heroic demeanor is just sort of gone.
What? Okay. Okay. That could I could see that kind of sucking. Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like I heard a dog. um, I'm gonna fill up the dead air. This is the beauty of communicating in our homes. Uh, various things. I don't think this is going to be a super long one because I believe I have a game here soon. Uh, but anyway, I'm going to talk to Hero about a couple other topics. I'm going to touch on some '80s cartoon stuff and then some sci-fi stuff, and then I'm just going to rant about YouTube for a little bit.
mm. Yeah,
Uh,
well, I'm gonna try to keep this going, but you're gonna have to bear with me for a few.
okay, that's fine. I hear a dog. Oh yeah. Yep. Let's see. Well, Hero's walking his dog or taking his dog out. I'm something of a cat person. Got two cats, neither of which are in the video at the moment. This is by far the most sporadic Zoom call I have had thus far. It's been a while since I did one of these because I know it was pretty much on the fly. I still want to try and talk to a couple of my old Phantom Group buddies. I was trying to talk to Lunar Spiral uh, like the last like month and a half. I was trying to arrange a time to try and do a podcast with her, but but like it doesn't seem to coordinate with like our schedules and stuff. So I want to keep trying, and I'm trying to see if I can get maybe Z or Falcon Punch. Maybe I'll get Dead or let's see, Zorro or Vaughn or Shot back if they want to talk again. If you guys want to see more guests, that's fine. I've got some other videos down the line, some other maybe we'll talk about them later, but some other videos I want to discuss. I've got a bunch of ideas. I was actually typing up some things I thought people might want to see, and a couple things I think that I've been wanting to do for a while. And the problem is always trying to narrow down and figure out which ones I want to do. So yeah, like I'm almost tempted to share them, but I don't really know when Hero's going to be back. I think I'm going to sneeze. I don't know if this is going to be like the most entertaining or least entertaining part of the video. Uh, Um, yeah. So I, I'm suspecting there might even be an interruption. I could hear people moving. Uh, yeah, this is what happens when you don't plan things. Uh, this was semi-planned. I'd actually hoped to do this earlier in the day, but I think Hero might have been unavailable. And what was I doing? Oh yeah, I just put up most recent episode of Jolo's movies. I put up for the Day the Earth Stood Still, the 1951 film. So I just put that up today. That would be Sunday, the 18th year of October. So yeah, if you want to check that out, please do. And I'm probably going to put up another list of Jolo's movies for you guys to vote on. I was running a little behind, so technically I want to try and get another one done this month, maybe a Halloween themed one. But I know that I'm going to be kind of busy this next month here or so, November, December. I'm going back to class, so I don't know how consistent the videos will be, but I do have some other ones I want to do. And I know that people are probably wanting some anime character analysis or some other anime or comic book videos. And so I've been trying to think of a way to do that, but make it kind of interesting for me. So I've got a bunch of ideas, but it's just a question of getting them out. So I actually was going through the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s and pretty much finished it a little while ago. I actually have to finish the last season, but I was thinking about doing something with that as maybe a source of inspiration for one of the video segments. But yeah, I was actually thinking about doing a podcast before Hero messaged me because I was like, I don't know if what's going to happen today, but now I have a guest who, at the moment, is doing dog stuff. You know, being dog like. Last of the Dogmen. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie. I feel like whenever, like, that's how my mind works. I don't know if that's something a lot of other people can relate to. When I hear a phrase, you know, it goes to something particular, and oftentimes there's something very specific, like dog. A lot of times I'll think Dogman. Last of the Dogmen is a good movie. Uh, it's this is so random. It's a like a '90s TV movie. I think I want to say it's Tom Berenger. He is like this bounty hunter who is searching for these three prisoners that escaped, and they go into the woods. I think it's like in the Rockies or something. It's like deep in the mountains, right? And he finds that they're basically vanished. They get killed or whatever, disappear, and he's like determined to figure out what happened to them. So he goes in deep into the forest. And I'm afraid this. I'd say this is a twist, but I feel like they advertise if you look at the movie, read a basic description. Basically, within the mountains is this tribe of Native Americans who I guess were so deep in the mountains that nobody ever discovered them. So they've been isolated since like 1880 or whatever. And yeah, so he has this dilemma of, you know, should these people be introduced to the modern world or should they be protected so they won't get, you know, screwed over like pretty much every other Native American tribe. So it's maybe a little far fetched, but it's an interesting idea. And I thought it was a pretty good movie. Uh, but yeah, Last of the Dogmen. I only that's I forget if there were any dogmen in that anime Beastars. I didn't really talk about that, but yeah, that was an interesting experience. It was an odd show. I think it was well done, but it was like made me uncomfortable. I think it was supposed to. Let's see. A recent video that I was watching was actually a Gibson's interview with Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath, you know, the guitar player. I feel like most people probably know that, but you know, whatever. Um, I I've been trying to get back into my love of music, and I never knew this about Tony Iommi. Like I always knew, obviously, he was a really good guitarist, but you know, there's always that little thing that just kind of elevates it even further. And I always wondered because whenever I'd see him playing, I'd see him. He has this like little nub thing, this like plastic thing over his fingers when he's playing the guitar, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's just a thing he wears to kind of prevent him from like, I don't know, developing calluses, or maybe because it's too painful, especially because he's older. That's kind of what I suspected, but no, apparently he's always had that. And that, I guess, because he had an accident when he was younger working in a factory and lost like the tips of a couple of his fingers, so he put these like knobs on them, and so he didn't think he could play guitar, so he had to like find specific guitars, and he through circumstance or chance, or he got connections with people to get guitars that he could use. And so he had to play left-handed. Please just play his guitar upside down for a while. But yeah, he developed he found those things, those little nub things to put on the end of his fingers, and still ended becoming an awesome guitar player. So I thought that was a pretty awesome story, actually. Um, yeah. Hero says he's going to need about 5 minutes to come back. So, man, all right. So he needs about 5 minutes. What else could I talk to people about? This is so, let's see, what else have I been looking at? Red Letter Media just uploaded a couple of videos that I wanted to watch. They did one about the Friday the 13th sequels, and also I think another Best of the Worst. So I got to catch up on those. It's actually going to be an inspiration for one of the segments I want to do with my channel. I want to kind of look at I found this site a while back that basically has all the IMDb ratings of shows and movies, and puts them, I think it's Rating Graph or something. Used to be another site, and then there was a new one because the other one like got taken down or something. But it basically has graphs, charts, like measuring what the ratings are on that site. So basically, people that are like hardcore TV or film critics, amateur fans, whatever, they all like to rate things. And so basically I'll do that, maybe some additional research to figure out, like, within the consensus of different fandoms, looking at different series, what the best and worst episodes or films in a franchise would be. And I'm probably going to do basically a bunch of my favorite shows growing up, like a lot of cartoons, a lot of anime series I've talked about on the channel, probably some sci-fi stuff, maybe some more contemporary modern drama shows and whatnot. So probably I've been thinking about doing that for a while, so that's probably going to be one. I also wanted to do one with looking at old comic books that I had read as a kid. And as a kid, I would pick up random issues from the store and not really know about the storylines. So I would kind of just be reading things out of context. And so I wanted to kind of bring these comics to you without context of the storylines, and try to kind of read them and make sense of them and have fun with that. So I don't know how well that goes. I think it sounds like an interesting concept, and maybe it's just all these are just ways for me to kind of have an excuse to go back and explore things that I liked, before, and rewatch old things with a new perspective. So it's really what it is. But I have a couple. I think I know what the next character analysis video is going to be. I realized it has. I realized it has been about it's been over a year, probably about a year and a half, maybe more, since I did an anime character analysis, which compared to all the videos after this, it's still the highest rated. I think it's got like 750 views or something. And you look at everything else I've done, it's like most of them barely like scratch 100, or very few surpass it. So yeah, most of my videos these days get like anywhere from 25 to 50 views. Every once in a while you get those videos that kind of get close to 100 or a little over 100. But yeah, but the viewership's been down, I think mostly because I just have gotten away from a lot of the core stuff that people were interested in. And the truth is, it's like I said, I just haven't been as interested in doing that, and watching some of those shows again. And some of them, it's been a while. I feel like I have to watch them again. I don't feel like it. So I'm trying to kind of get it back naturally. But I do think I know the next one I'm going to do, because it's a long time coming for her. That should narrow it down a teeny bit, probably about 50%. So yeah, for her, she is a character from one of my favorite anime series that I have definitely mentioned many times before, and I've never done I did a video or two where I did talk about her a little bit, but I never actually gave her a proper video, and I think she deserves one for sure. She is a villain, so that should be interesting for people. I think that should be a good one. It's I'm not sure when I'm going to do it, but I'm pretty sure that's the next one I'm going to do. But I want to try and get a couple of these other segments out of the way, just to see if maybe there is some, I don't know, any of them take off at all. It would be kind of cool if they did. So yeah, trying to keep this dead air here from being less interesting. Man. It's okay though, because I wasn't planning on it being a very long podcast anyway. Because I think, let me see what the other topics were here. Oh yeah, okay. I wonder what's going on with the dog anyway. Let's see. What else can I talk about here? Hold on. I'm sure there's something. This has been the problem too. Like I've got all these things. Um, hmm. I think the next I might do a full series review actually of Samurai 7 because it's another one of my favorites, and I've been slowly rewatching it on Funimation. That's been good. I've also been watching a lot of like Simpsons clips, and I've been watching Futurama, so that's kind of been fun as well. Because I have watched like I watched like a lot of Futurama off and on over the years, but like I feel like there's a lot that I have missed, especially the later seasons. So I yeah, let's see. That's one thing I've been doing lately. I'm also I should have done more of this today, but I'm editing my novel. I believe I'm going to say the final title is The Curse of the Black Tree. It's basically a dark fantasy novel. I should do a video promoting it. I really should promote it a little bit more to build it up. So I'm going to do that soon. But basically, I try to keep it simple. It's basically a dark fantasy, medieval fantasy sort of thing. You've got a couple heroes basically on a quest to destroy this evil tree. And it's just kind of about their journey and their relationships with each other and kind of dealing with their own inner struggles and their dark pasts, as well as the typical fantasy stuff. There's some pretty standard hero's journey stuff there. But I was like, hey, I want to see if I can do this novel following a simple structure and complete the plot, which I did. So now I'm kind of going through it and rewriting sentences here and trying to see if I can flesh out certain things there and try to make sure things make sense. But I started actually working on that, like the original idea for it was like back in 2010 or 2011. And I was like, it was just, inspired by a lot of a lot of fantasy I read growing up and a lot of the D&D games I was participating in. And I started writing it, and I got like I think a couple chapters in, not very long, but I don't know, maybe like, a couple short, not like a couple chapters even. I don't know, maybe it was like 10 pages or something. 50, I don't know. It wasn't very far. I remember I got like basically into the first, yeah, I got about a chapter and a half in because I'd introduced one character and I was introducing the other. And then like I was doing it on this old computer just to type, and then I lost everything and I got kind of discouraged. And that was like back when I was in college. So I had the story in the back of my mind because I knew who the main character is, I knew what it was going to be, and I just never sat down and did it. And then I don't know, I just felt like, like last year, like I have more downtime at work, so I'm gonna be I'll try and do that when I can. And basically, I wrote the whole thing in about a year. I think I started it last summer and finished it like this summer, especially because of quarantine. It was able like to really just plow through it this year and finish it. So I finished it in the summer, and I've been slowly editing it. And really, there's been stuff going on with the family and personal stuff. So like the last like 3-4 weeks, it's just been I have gotten very little editing done, but I want to get back to doing that and finishing that. I'm planning to release that hopefully by the end of the year, maybe like around Christmas time. My original idea had been like by October, but no, that didn't work out. So hopefully like end of the year, maybe I'll try to put it up on Amazon or something. And I'm thinking about releasing some of the short stories as well that I've written with it, a couple unpublished ones that I haven't put on my site. And also working at the first little novelette, a superhero story it's technically the first book, a very short one that I ever wrote like a couple years ago that I'm just not happy with because I wanted it to be like a superhero satire thing, kind of like a Dark Knight Returns meets kind of a Great Saiyaman One Punch Man thing. And then it just kind of became like sort of a more generic superhero thing. So I was kind of unhappy with that overall. And yeah, but I mean, I might go through that and publish that too as like a bonus thing. So there'll be that, and I think I've got a guest here who's definitely going to be on the video because this is all going to be unedited. Basically, honey, I am waiting for Hero to come back.
I'm
There
back.
he is. There he is. Oh yeah. This is probably the most like this is going to be the most sporadic, nonsensical Zoom recording ever, because like he was out taking out the dog, whatever, and I've just been filling up time talking about random shit. So you're here. No, it's not live, but I'm gonna be uploading it later. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna mute it now because I think there's gonna be some private conversations here about something. 1 second.
All right.
All right, Hero. Well, basically, she's hungry, so I got to cut this short. Okay, so what? All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fucking go through the last little bit of conversation because, Hero, I just want to let you know, this is like the most ridiculous recording ever. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Was the dog? Did the dog have to go out or something?
No, it's that my dad showed up, and then the dog gets excited, and then I had to put my dad a movie and
Oh,
all that.
gotcha. Okay. Well, let me see. Where was I? I want to pump through these real quick, and then we'll have to. Oh yeah. Okay. A couple brief topics here. Okay. You said in your recent videos that your most recent video actually, which made me very happy. It's been making me very happy lately, man. But Star Trek has been a big inspiration for you.
Hmm.
From a storytelling perspective, especially with what you've been working on with Deadly Hearts, how has that kind of inspired you lately? Like, what about it has really stuck with you as kind of a new Star Trek fan?
Well, it really comes down to a lot of fan mangas that people make. Because what I
Really?
want to do is not exactly anime per se.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, not at all. It's just that whenever people make a fan projects, it tends to be very straightforward, good versus evil, and it's usually a battle shonen of some sort.
Yep.
What I wanted to do was something more gruesome, more drastic, but at the same time also made me realize that not every scenario has to be a uh, straightforward battle. And maybe this comes to times where I don't have to kill the bad guy in this situation
Mm-hmm.
or resolve it in a different way. Because I don't remember the name of this next gen episode, but it's the one where Picard and this representative of another alien that he doesn't understand his language,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to learn that like when the walls fell, like what does that mean?
Oh, Darmok. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, the
great one.
Dharma.
Hey,
It's just,
Darmok. It's funny you mentioned that because Darmok is probably my favorite next gen episode because of the power of communication. And you're right. It's just that's a great way to resolve the conflict that he doesn't want to engage in violence. Like, no, I want to figure out what you're saying so that we don't destroy each other. And also, I think that's always been a theme in Trek because also one of my favorite moments in the original series was when Kirk fights the Gorn. He
mhm.
has the chance to let's just take out the Gorn, but okay, this thing that looks like a monster, is he really a bad guy? Maybe he isn't. No, I won't kill him. I always loved that moment. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's really good. you're right. A lot of people probably are really inspired by. I mean, I guess there is the catharsis of good versus evil and triumphing and destroying the evil, but you're right. There, that's very simplistic, and that can get very repetitive, and it's not very true to life, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, but that also brought up something else because I know our time is limited, but we'll definitely talk about this more in the coming weeks. But you said something else in your video that you've mentioned before, that you really enjoying Star Trek, but so you grew up watching Star Wars, right?
Hmm.
Now, it never really connected with you. Like, what was up with that? How did you feel about?
Well,
See, Star
I
Wars seems
never.
like your thing.
Let's put it this way: I never played, pretend with Star Wars or anything of the sort.
Okay, so it just never clicked for
That's
you.
a weird way of saying that it didn't really connect with me as a kid.
Did you feel like weird about that? Because I feel like Star Wars is just one of those things that like so many people like. You know?
Well, part of the reasons that a lot of the people that I grew up with, they weren't really into any of that sort of stuff.
Huh?
It
Interesting.
wasn't until the 2000s where it became a little more open-minded about those things. Because in middle school, that's when everyone was really into Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z, and Yu Yu Hakusho, and
Hmm.
all those different types of fandom.
Interesting. Okay. So
But elementary school, not so much. I don't recall much of anything.
that's interesting. Okay. Well, it just goes to show that different groups of people have different things. But okay. All right. Well, we'll talk a few minutes on this last little topic because I was curious about it. So I guess I wanted to get your opinion. Okay. Well, I want to also find out from you just about your stuff because I feel like you. All right. First of all, I want to promote your Patreon here
Oh,
because I really want you to make an actual video for it because I get frustrated when I see that you don't have more subscribers being your patrons because I know I was one there. I think I actually had to dip out because my card wasn't working for a couple weeks. I had to fix that. So
mhm.
if I'm not a patron on there right now, it's not because I stopped because I had an issue, a financial one, which was really weird.
Uh,
Nothing was working for a couple days. It was I got new cards in the mail and I didn't know. But anyway, so it's me and Falcon Punch. I know. So I think we're the only ones right now. And I mean that's cool. But I know you've got all the subscribers that are so passionate about your videos because you make good videos. You do. And I'm just like, come on. Like he deserves some patronage. He does. So I think if you would, are you going to promote that a little more? Are you trying not to
well,
beat
well,
people over the head with it?
I would sort of have to bait the people a little bit, giving them what they want in order for them to. Oh, now we'll do the Patreon, and but at the same time, it's kind of greedy because like, oh, now you're gonna do it because we give you money instead of like all those years ago when we asked you to do it.
How do but people clearly get around that. And I've had that problem too, where it's like, I, obviously I have my Patreon. I had some patrons a while ago that, and I was hard for me to keep up with the requests actually. Uh, and I, I want to get your opinion because I feel like, all right, quite frankly, Hero, I'm trying to look at my channel for what it is, which for me, it's mostly just a hobby, but I still find myself getting very angry and stressed about it anyway, a lot of the time. And it makes me sad a lot of the time because I, I'm going to be, and you can be honest with me, your feedback, because I do appreciate your feedback your feedback.
Mhm.
Um, I really do think like this last year, I've made some of the videos I'm the most proud of. Like I really do enjoy it, like the Jillo's movies. Just trying to kind of explore the different interests, much like you are. And I really think they're good videos. In terms of quality and production, they're some of the best. But nobody's watching them, and I'm not going to pretend like that doesn't get to me sometimes. Like my last, like I'll share with you something here now, which I have not told anybody. But
Mhm.
okay, the video I slaved over the most, which I think you must have pointed out in your comment, is the Jurassic Park video. That
Yeah.
video I spent it got messed up in the software, so I had to redo the whole thing twice anyway. But I like watched that thing, listened to that thing again, and try to get every little gap of wasted time. I tried to make it flow so smoothly. I worked so hard on that video, and it's not getting that much reception, which is fine. It's not really my subscriber base interest anyway. But and then on top of that, the flamethrowers in cinema that I did which I have really been enjoying those. I think that one I did got like that other one I worked really hard on got like no views at all, and I was just like, man. And I've just been like, I've kind of been very torn about sort of throwing that up. Basically, I've been really like thinking about quitting YouTube a lot more lately. Like it's
Mm.
been pretty. Maybe I'm taking it too seriously, but just like I want to get some feedback from you, just as a subscriber and as a fellow content creator and whatnot.
Mm. Well, it really depends what you want to do.
Yeah.
Well, because if you want to continue the movie things, I say just keep doing it. But if you want to get the attention of some people, you might have to start going in the most generic topic.
Well, all right. Okay. Here's the problem. Um, I know that people like the anime character analysis videos, but I need to find a way to kind of go back and do those in a way that's more interesting to me. I guess that's sort of been the dilemma I've had. So I almost have been tempted to just kind of make some of those videos just to draw traffic back into the channel,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is fair because people are subscribed to you for like a particular thing and they get used to it, and that's fine. And I feel like you had some of the same frustrations lately too, because you have a lot of things you want to talk about, and you might not like. I mean, how I don't. I mean, are you planning on doing a lot of anime content, or are you more unsure about that right now?
They're still there. It's just I'm trying to sort things out with trying to get everything balanced. When it comes to because right now what's getting views is the Devilman stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm thinking, am I gonna have to start leaning there a bit more often? And then same thing goes with Lupin. So those two things might be the priorities here. But with the announcement of Fist and NorthStar manga, it also gives me an incentive to, well, I need to capitalize on the subject and talk more about it now since it's coming. Something
Hmm.
coming.
All right. So some more. Well, that'll be good. I know you're passionate about that, so that'll
Yeah.
be good.
The thing is, when it comes to try to get the YouTube attention, it's either like a very very broad opinion or broad controversial opinion, or something, a fact that everybody already knows. And what I'm thinking that what you gotta do, or if the timing's right, you need to click something that's like very trendy and talk about it, and hopefully you get the attention of several several hundred thousand million people. I don't know. Because it does happen. Because when I look at some channels that they have like a big subscriber count, sometimes I wonder like, and the views don't really match. I'm thinking, well, what happened? So I just scroll a bit and try
Hmm.
to see like what was a big thing that got the people there in the first place. And then from there, I start seeing that when they strayed off from that topic, the numbers go down.
Yeah, and I think that's what's
So,
happened to my channel too. And I think it's just like I agree. You are right. It's like kind of broad but controversial, or kind of getting people to get confirmation on something they already know, because people like that. And people like that. I
mm,
like with list videos. Like I've even gotten caught into that, like with the clickbaity stuff. Like a lot of times people look for things they want to agree with, which is weird. Like you
mhm.
want to be surprised, but it's more like, oh, like somebody else agrees. And I think that's more what people look for. So that's what
You
builds
want some sort of
affirmation.
yeah, I was gonna say self-evaluation, but I don't think that's right.
Maybe
Or,
some, but yeah, it's like, oh, they're just thinking, huh, like I think this. Does somebody else think that? Oh, okay,
or
cool. Like,
they want to the validate their opinions, I guess. It's like,
yeah,
well, if I think this and he thinks it, then I must be right.
yeah, there's a lot of that. You're right. Um, well, I was telling people when you're going and talking to the barking dog that I know what the next. Okay, all right. I know what the next anime character analysis video I'll do will be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I want to see if you can guess who it is.
Uh, or talking Full Metal Alchemist or
Oh,
Dragon Ball.
ding. Okay, you Fullmetal Alchemist is correct. So yeah,
Um, Trying to think of what character you haven't talked about.
I have not talked about this character for a whole video actually, which is surprising. I missed quite a few actually.
Hmm. I'm pretty sure we already talked about Hohenheim.
Actually, he never got his own video, but no, I probably should talk about him.
Hmm.
Talked about Father, just sort of.
Oh, wait, you're talking about Father? Or
No, I talked about Father, which is like half
oh,
Hohenheim.
because I'm
Uh,
thinking, I'm pretty sure you brought up Envy already.
uh, uh, um, I have, but I've never actually done a video on MV specifically.
Hmm.
You're on the right track, Hero. You're on the right track.
Was it I'm trying to remember what was the Bradley's son's name, like the actual. Was it Salim or
Oh wow, that was
Salim Bradley?
that. Oh no, no, no. Although that would be an interesting one. Yes, it is a homunculi. And if I say much more, I think you'll figure it out right
What
away.
is it? Like a video about lust?
Yes, I'm going to do a video about lust. I am
Hmm.
going to do a video about lust. But a specific topic about her is I'm going to talk about, once again, the old chestnut of why she's great in 2003 and kind of lacking in Brotherhood. And that's kind of the angle I'm going to go, because you know what? I still feel strongly about that topic. And I,
Hmm.
I wonder, like, do people love that character just because of the fight in Brotherhood and that's enough?
Well, that's probably the thing, but I feel like you should tell, instead of calling it character profile, you should call it like why 2003 Lust is better than the Brotherhood or something of the sorts.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna basically. It's gonna be kind of a versus thing. I don't. It's like I don't want to be too clickbaity with the title, but that's basically what's
No,
gonna
but
be.
it's better than nothing there because the problem with YouTube is that after a certain point, it just became like anime titles just became more of a, oh, here's a statement or a
Yeah.
title, or like
Well,
here's an adjective of this character, then
oh,
that's the video.
yeah. It's because it's Google Trends, man. They're trying to mimic what people type so that it gets the most hits. Like I get it, but it's like once again, you got to sacrifice what's gonna get you hits with what I actually want to title my video artistically.
Mm-hmm.
It's silly, but yeah, man, that's probably my next goal. Um, I know I've got people coming over here soon, so I'll tell you what. This Zoom call was pretty sporadic, but we had some interesting, quick topics. Um, yeah, let's try to do this again. I want to try and do a group fandom group call at some point, but it is hard to arrange that. It is hard.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll try to get some more people on, maybe in the near future here. All
All
right,
right.
Hero. Well, thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe to Hero if you have not, and check out his Patreon if you want to support him that way too. He'd appreciate that. And I'm going to say, stay magical.